Is football still from the people? Or did it become just one game for billionaires? Historical clubs are being purchased by oil tyranny. Iconic stadiums are increasingly empty because tickets are absurdly expensive. And while the fan suffers, top hats and entrepreneurs profit billions. Do you think this is evolution or the death of football as we know? If before the team's shirt was a symbol of passion, today is a walking outdoor full of sponsorship. If previously players played for the love of the club, today they follow the money jumping from team to team like any company. Does football still represent the people, or have you been kidnapped by the market? Stay with me until the end, because the answer to this question can be more bitter than you think. When did football become business? Football has always been from the people. At first it was a game of workers, students and communities. The stadiums were accessible, the players had identification with the clubs, and the money involved was minimal compared to what we see today. But when did it all start to change? We can point to several key moments, but one of the most impactful was in the 1990s with the creation of the Premier League in England. Before that, European football was still mostly a community sport with clubs rooted in its cities. But when TVs noticed the profit potential, everything changed. Millionaire transmission rights began to inject money into clubs. Clubs have become companies, often run by foreign investors. Players' salaries fired, turning athletes into multi-million superstars. This was not restricted to Europe. Over time, South America, Asia, and even the Middle East entered the money game. Football has become less about the base's talent and more about who can spend more. But who really rules in football today? Who rules in football today? If before the clubs were led by passionate fans and former players, today football has become a board where tycoons, petrodollars and mega company play to see who sends the most. Let's go to the facts. The clubs are now products. Manchester City. It belongs to a group of the United Arab Emirates. PSG, controlled by the government of Qatar. Chelsea, bought by an American billionaire. Football has become a large purchase and sale market, the invasion of the SAFs. In Brazil, the clubs also entered this game. Botafogo, Cruzeiro, Vasco, all sold to foreign investors. Flamengo and Palmeiras resist, but until when? Brazilian. Football is also being swallowed by the European business model. The championships are unequal. Have you realized that the same teams always win the big leagues? This is no coincidence. Billionaire clubs hire the best players, while smaller teams struggle to survive. Does a Premier League champion Leicester City in 2016 will happen again? Or did this dream die? Corruption and scandals. What about FIFA? Always involved in scandals. The World Cup in Qatar was an example of how money rules. Stadiums were built at the expense of slave labor. Teams and players were forced to be silent about political issues. And in the end, the money spoke louder. Football is still a passion, but today it is an investment. Now the most important question: where is the fan in this story? Is football still of the people, or just for who can you pay? Football was born on the streets, on the dirt fields, in the stands crowded with passionate workers and fans. But does this spirit still exist? Let's go to the facts. Tickets at absurd prices. In the past, any fan could go to the stadium. Today, tickets are so expensive that many prefer to watch from home. In countries like England and Spain, a large game ticket can cost hundreds of euros. What was popular became an event for the elite. Shirts and products at exorbitant prices. Buying an official Heart Team shirt has become a luxury. In the past, it was a symbol of identity. Today, it is a collector item, with prices that exceed the minimum wage in some countries. The fan became a client. Clubs treat the fan as a consumer. No more passion, but how much money he can spend. The focus is now on sales of shirts, partner-owner packages, and streaming signatures. Players with no identity with clubs. In the past, players created ties with the teams. Today, they jump from club to club, moved by the highest salary. It's rare to see an idol play years on the same team. Football has become just another business in their lives. The result? Passion is still alive, but access to football is increasingly restricted. Conclusion: so let's face reality. Football still represents the people, or was kidnapped by the market. If we look at the stadiums of old and compare with today's, it is clear that something has changed. Before, football was a democratic space. Today, he belongs to who can pay. Clubs are companies and need to profit. The players are global marques with millionaire contracts. Federations sell the show to those who offer more money. The question is this an inevitable evolution or a betrayal of the essence of football? If on the one hand, we lose our connection with the game, tickets are absurdly expensive, and the ordinary fan is being excluded. Historical clubs are being bought and transformed into franchises. The players jump from team to team, following millionaire contracts without attachment to the shirt. On the other hand, football grew like never. Today, it is a global phenomenon, moving trillions and reaching every corner of the world. The stadiums are more modern, the transmissions have absurd quality, and the sport remains the great passion worldwide. More money means more investment, better competitions and athletes with increasingly high technical level. So what does this mean to the future of football? Will the sport be completely dominated by billionaires in a few decades? Or can the passion of fans still change this course? The decision is in our hands. Is football ours or not? And now I want to know your opinion. Is football still from the people, or has only become a game for the billionaires? Do you think this transformation is natural or a serious problem? Comment down here, because this debate is just starting. If you enjoyed this video, leave the like and subscribe to the channel, because here we are not afraid to touch controversial subjects. And look, if you think this change in football is great, waiting just to see what can happen in the coming years. It is connected to the channel, because this chat does not end here.